but we are live. Can you hear us at all?
Yes, I can hear you, but I am not getting feed.
Okay, you might have to go off and come back.
Okay, I think I'll do that.
All right then. Right, let's just go ahead with the program tonight. Hi everyone, good evening, and welcome once again to the Diamond Lady Show. I am Diamond Lady. I think we're getting a bit of feedback from somewhere else, but we are going to go ahead with the program tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome once again to the Diamond Lady TV and the Diamond Lady Show. So tonight, I am so excited to have the Afropolitan, the voices of the Afropolitans joining me tonight, the think tank joining me tonight. And tonight our topic is all about the mindset of Africans. Could that be the single important influencer for our future? So we are going to wait for the rest of the team to join us. As we wait, I am going to go ahead and then share this program with everybody out there. If you are watching us as well, we will kindly request that you share this on Facebook, you share our link to people out there and all that. Today, because it is about Africa, I am wearing something all about Africa. You can see African map in my clothes. And then I try to make my hair look African enough. Can you hear us, Ricky? Okay, he's gone again. So tonight we are hoping everything will be successful. Whilst I go ahead and then share the link, I am going to let our wonderful lady who is on now introduce herself, okay? We've never had her here before, so please. Kathy is going to introduce herself. This is my first time knowing much about her as well. So, Kathy, please go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. Tell us a little bit about yourself then, please.
Okay, thank you very much. It's really nice to be here. And yes, my name is Kathy. I'm a doctor from Germany. And as you can see, I'm not really African. But the reason how I ended up here is I met Ricky roughly 10 years ago when I was trained, or I did part of my training in Ghana. So back at that time, I was very much into, one day I want to go into all this, development aid work and something. But over the time, I realized that actually, just going somewhere and working in the health sector, it won't change much. And so it was the first step into my endeavor as an entrepreneur. Okay. And then it was very interesting because I had a lot of discussion and talks with Ricky about, the different cultures and the mindset which come with it. So, yes, I think I had to learn a lot because, I spent most of my time in Europe, and I was raised with all this European mindset. And so it was very, very enlightening to learn about, okay, how are things handled in Ghana, in Africa? So I was also traveling to other countries. And I realized if there should be any change coming to a country, and I think it's not just any country in Africa, I think it's worldwide, change has to come from the mindset, and not just from one person, but then from the society. And from there you can grow. But so yes, I've changed my approach from going to some country, doing some good work, to going into business and coming from the economic side. Because if a country is thriving economically and giving people so much more chances to fulfill their actually desires to earn and then to give back and to get a proper education and so on, it's so much more precious than just going somewhere and helping in a small place. It's also important, but I think the impact is different.
Oh.
So yeah, and since this is still my my passion, that's why I'm also here today, because it's about mindset.
Thank you so much, Kathy, and nice meeting you as in face to face. So I'm going to try and then bring Ricky back. And then I notice we've got so many other people joining us as well. So we're going to bring them all on the screen right now so we can see all the other Afropolitan voices. Okay, so it's all Ricky, isn't it? I think we might have to take...
Hello, V.
All right, I'm going to remove some of you off.
Okay, that's exciting.
I know, I see so many versions of myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you know how this is broadcasting from Accra, and you have to do everything to make sure overcoming all the various challenges that we face on a daily basis.
Of course.
We have the power fluctuating, so it's not consistent. We have some issues with our network, I guess. So I was just making sure that I have multiple feeds. So if one goes off, the others are up and running. How's everyone doing?
We're all doing well.
Okay.
Okay, fantastic. I am trying to listen to you with a headset just to make sure that I'm not too noisy over here, and because of that, there's a slight delay, but I mean we'll overcome it as well. So let's carry on.
Definitely. Just give me 1 second. I think I'm going to switch you from one to the other. Okay, the network, everything has gone down. Right, Ricky, can you?
I can hear you.
Thank goodness you're back. Can you also introduce yourself to everyone, and then we will go ahead with the program for tonight then.
Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen all over the world.
Good evening.
My name is Richard Boateng. I am the Chief Customer Service Person for the Mastermind Group. And basically, I'm glad to be on Diamond Lady TV. The slight delay in my communication is because there's a bit of latency on the line. But we will manage it. That's what we do. That's why we're here.
Of course, we would definitely manage it. So to all those who are watching us tonight, we say good evening again and welcome once again to the Diamond Lady TV and show. We are glad to have you here. If you're watching us, just type in where you're watching us from. Just say hello to us. Let's say hello to you as well. Thank you to those watching us on Instagram, those watching us on YouTube, and especially those on Facebook. Don't forget to share. Let others get involved in the topic for today. As I have already introduced the topic, I mean, you already know the topic because I've already put the poster out there for people to see. And I would say it again, is all about, could the mindset of Africans and the Black diaspora be the single most important influencer for our future? Yes, Kathy is not same as us, but I guess there's something that runs within her. Well, she's all about the mindset as well. So let's see how this goes tonight. And as you might already know, last time when we had Ricky on the show, I kept on mentioning about Prof. P.L.O. Lumumba. I love to listen to him, and I love to listen to this other person called Mopunga J. I think he is from Kenya or somewhere like that. I'm not too sure. But these two people do sort of always work on my own personal mindset. And to start this whole program, I'm just going to read just a little bit from Professor P.L.O. Lumumba. And he says that the rise and fall of Africa entirely depends on the mindset of the people. And I personally totally agree to this. So we are here to try and get others to change their mindset as well. If we could, we are going to try our best and help change the narrative of Africa. I think we've got a feed coming from someone. I'm not too sure. Is that you, Ricky?
Well, we have all our volume off, so I don't think it's here.
Okay.
I can barely hear you. I'm just very low. Maybe we should check the other.
Yeah, Kathy's got she's got hers off. That's fine. So I know that the narrative of Africa could change through us as individuals. We don't have to wait to be in a political position or to be in a high-ranking position to do this. But I think my panelists also got that same agenda or that same mindset. I am not too sure. It's best we hear it from them themselves. And I am going to begin with Kathy because she's already said a little bit about the change of mindset. So, Kathy, what do you think about this subject? Should the mindset shift begins with us as individuals, or where do you think it has to start from?
Yes. Well, in general, I think there are always two ways how mind shift can start. Either there's a very strong leadership or think tank on top. So then it's possible that a mind shift can start from the top down. But on the other hand, if there's not a very strong leadership present, then of course it has to be the other way around, that it grows from a kind of strong small seed, and then it spreads into bigger masses, and from there you get a new leadership out of them, and then you can start from top again. So I think it's a parallel movement. Mm-hmm. So in the times when there was the independence movement, in the 60s, Africa had a lot of very strong leaders and strong thinkers who had visions for society, and I think over time that got lost. So for the moment, we have a lot of individuals who are on their own, have their own agenda. And I mean, you know how it is. Everybody is minding his own business and have the real life issues going on. Mm-hmm. So there's not so much time to come up with new ideas. Okay, how should a society, first, how should an individual and then a society work? So I think, yes, for the moment, we need individuals who have the same vision, the same values, and from there you can grow a movement which finally will impact the society as well.
All right, that is a very good answer. Thank you for that, Kathy. I don't know why my voice is echoing back, but I hope we get this resolved at some point. Ricky, I am coming to you with this question. How do you think the mindset of the people in Africa and the Black diaspora is at the current moment? You've muted yourself.
That's a very interesting question, V, and one that I like to touch on a lot. But just to clarify, I want to be sure which feed you're getting from so that I can unmute that microphone. All right, so I believe this one. Okay, great. My mind set regarding where Africa is has to do with where our history has brought us up to date. Yes. Okay, this is a combination of the past 50, 60 years, across the entire continent, and all the various things that we've gone through, our experiences have molded us, especially for those of us who are on the continent in a particular way.
Yes.
For those who are in the diaspora, their experiences have molded them as well. Unfortunately for us, as with some things, when you do not plan them or curate them, they might go in a particular direction that might not be the best. So I cannot say, as of now, that the African and Black diasporan mindset of today is the kind that is in our best interest with reference to the kind of future we are aiming towards. We have heard it time and time again. A lot of people talk about, the way Africans think, the way the Black man thinks. I think our experiences have molded us in a particular way that has caused the mindset we have developed to be not as beneficial as it could have been, if I am choosing the softest words that I can manage at the moment. So currently, I would say we are in a problem. I think it's a huge challenge, but I believe the biggest problem is we don't even know how big a mindset challenge we have. I mean, for us, it's just regular, life, everyday life. We are just living it the way we're supposed to. But if you're a student of mindset and its relative associated aspects such as the belief system, the value system, the attitudes, how they translate into narratives, how they translate into actions and then behaviors. If you're a student of that, you begin to understand that we are up against some serious internal opposition, which is our own minds.
Yes.
So I think, yes, we are in quite a dire position. And more importantly, we haven't yet woken up to the seriousness of the situation that we're dealing with.
Well. I hope we get something out of it today, actually. So you did mention about the kind of future we are aiming towards. Probably we are all not looking at that same page. Could you just describe to us what the future we are aiming towards? Not everybody knows what that future is for Africa and the Black diaspora.
Okay. Let me try and borrow a couple of references from our international cousins in Hollywood. Okay. We all remember the euphoria that was created when Black Panther came out.
Yes.
Because for the first time, for so many people, there was the representation of a nation, self-sufficient. In fact, described as the richest nation possibly on earth, one of the most highly technologically advanced, if not the most technologically advanced, with proud, brave people who in their own way were both monitoring and influencing global affairs. I remember how people were dancing in the streets, how African Americans were jubilating, because that representation is something a lot of them could not even fathom. Now, it might be fictional, but just that representation, that visualization set off a whole plethora of emotions that told people this is what is possible. This is what it could be like. And I dare take one step further and say, this is what it should be like. Because let's face it, Africa is Wakanda. We do have the resources that no one else has. We do have the manpower that no one else has. We do have the history. We have the people. We have everything. If anywhere else would be Wakanda, the whole continent of Africa is. So that is the kind of future that is possible. You see, when you look at Ghanaian history, for instance, after 60 so years of independence, we gauge ourselves against similar countries in Asia that also experienced their independence around the same time, such as Singapore, for instance, and even Malaysia. who we considered at the time our comrades, so to speak. And we look at how far they have come as economies, as nations, as first world countries. You understand? And we know that we could have taken that route as well. In fact, we should have been there as well. Everyone expected it of us. Mm-hmm. So then the question becomes, why? V, you're living in the UK. Kathy is in Germany. I have brothers and other sisters who are all over the world, some of whom were supposed to be on the show today. I think maybe they'll join us later if they haven't been able to make it yet. We go to other countries and we see their rate of development and what is happening over there. And as much as we are amazed and we appreciate and we admire, we know that it's not out of the world. Mm-hmm. This is something that Africa could and should have had. So then we need to ask ourselves the pertinent questions. What went wrong? Yes, identify the problems. But what can we also then do to reclaim this position? And even forget about reclaiming. Today, if you aim for reclaiming, you have sold yourself short. How can we go ahead and be on top? Because it's possible. Look at Rwanda. Today they are, crossing all the T's and dotting all the I's. They are streaming all the way to the top because it's possible. The Arab Emirates, just 2 decades ago, were hardly a shadow of what they are today. But look at them today. After 30 years, they have written their names internationally. We all know China, just 25 years ago, was nothing to write home about. No one took them seriously. Look at them today. They're a superpower. So we know it's possible. We know it can be done. That's the kind of future we should be visualizing. The era when the young people could only think of a bright future when they think of it abroad is gone. That's part of the mindset shift we need to institute. The only reason why you're still in the UK, V, is simply because you know there are opportunities over there which you probably wouldn't get in Ghana. You love your country. I know you love your country.
I do, yeah.
If you had those opportunities back here, you would be here. And it's not that you can't. It's because certain things have not been done to allow that to happen. Look at all our brothers and sisters in the States who are dying to come to Africa. They want to be here. They would rather be here than anywhere else in the world. We have people like Kathy. I always call her Ikia because my mom gave her that name. So we call her Ikia Ifriye. Kathy loves Ghana. She's been to more countries in Africa than I have. She appreciates what we have over here so much, respects Africans so much. She keeps saying that she has an African soul. This is a good place, V. We can create any future we want. The African Union have been going on and on about the agenda for 2060, called the Africa that we want. It is more than possible, but we need to have that picture. It's like so many of us have given up hope that it's even possible. So we're just, living the best life that we can under the circumstances. No, China has done it. The Emirates have done it. Rwanda is doing it. Malaysia, Singapore did it. There's no reason why we can't do it, but we need more people to come on board. If more people would join such conversations and join the conscientizing as a collective, so we understand what is important and stop talking about unnecessary things and paying attention to unnecessary things and feeding with energies unnecessary things, we would be able, to attain that even better. So, V, if I get started on this, I'm not going to.
I know you wouldn't.
That I believe that we deserve and that we can have.
Yeah, thank you for that. I am thinking this feed probably is coming from myself here. Kathy, I am coming back to you. I know you visited a lot of African countries in your life, which I'm not too sure if I'm going to visit all those countries as well. My question to you is, when you went to all these places, what did you notice, or what in your own mindset do you think is our problem as Africa? What is the problem when it comes to mindset change or the mindset shift? What do you think is the problem? I'm not sure if you got all that, Kathy.
Well, what I saw so far, there's some breaks, but I think I got the main question. I think I start with Ricky, what he said about Wakanda. Wakanda was such a big hit because it was finally, the idea of how it could look in the end. Okay, when everything is said and done and settled, then Africa can look like Wakanda, and you have the whole technology thing going on. So this is kind of the final vision. But now at the moment, the problem is it takes a lot of effort and energy to get there. The ideas are there. Okay, Wakanda, maybe it's far vision, but the ideas are there. Some have ideas of the next step, but actually the whole path is so unclear. And so what I've seen, a lot of people are talking. That's the thing, it's like, oh, it would be nice, it would be good. But then to take all the steps to really make changes in the habits, in the thoughts, it costs energy. And I think there is the structures in African countries are very often too frustrating. So if someone tries to start a business, a new idea, there's so many people who either try pull them down or to stop them, or there are plenty of regulations which come up suddenly because someone wants to have a part as well. So I think the energy which has to go into the change is quite remarkable. And so either you have to kind of toughen up your spirit and your mind so you can go the whole path, or people just stuck where they are and start dreaming but never get into action because it takes so much energy.
Oh, yes. That is what I notice about my own country, Ghana. It is so difficult. I mean, the fact that people tend to hold other people down. It is not just in Africa, you know. I think from what I have seen over the years, I noticed that it's all over the world. I don't know if it's a bit of a syndrome that Africans are experiencing. You start a business and then you tell a friend or a family member and say, oh, can you spread the news, or can you help me get people to buy from me? It's like, no, I'm going to sit on it. I'm not going to tell the world about it. So it's a mindset that actually started with us at some point. And I don't even know how we're going to do this mindset set shift. I remember someone telling me that you starting businesses, it's best you go for people from the foreign countries to use them as the face of your business, instead of you yourself using your face as for the business, because they would rather want to buy from maybe the Chinese people, the British people, the Germany people, than buy from we as Africans ourselves. I don't know. I'm not too sure what you also think about that, Kathy, since I've got just you for now. I'm not sure what is happening with Ricky's system. And so it looks like it's just the two of us for now.
It's totally true. I mean, I witnessed the same, and it's very painful for me to see this, because honestly, I mean, from the environment I come from, there's so much more support. It's like I start my business like everybody. Let's buy from you and let's see what we can do together. And then you can go for some funding from the state. So it was a tough lesson for me to see, people actually, they don't support each other, although in the next conversation, they have the same ideas like, Africa has to become strong and we have to unite and to build something. But then if it really comes to the action, like, okay, please support your neighbor or your brother, or then suddenly it's gone. So there is this very strange clash between the ideas and talking and then finally the action. And to be honest, I haven't seen that anywhere else. I haven't seen that in Indian or Asian countries, not that much.
Oh, well, I'm not too sure what is wrong with us as Africans anyway. So, Ricky, welcome back. And I remember when you were talking, you were mentioning Chinese people this, Chinese people that, and all that. And as I said previously, I love to listen to Professor PLO Lumumba. And there was one of his conversations that I listened to just recently where he was talking about the fact that the Chinese people are trying to conquer the world, especially Africa. They are finding means and ways to conquer Africa by putting their people in our universities. Somehow, that is how they're trying to conquer the world. They are putting their people in our universities and learning our ways through that side and trying to pick on things. He also mentioned the fact that first the Chinese people wanted people to have just one child, and then all of a sudden they changed the one-child policy to, oh yeah, you can have a second child. Then this is what PLO Lumumba said. He says the second child is the ones meant for Africa, to go to Africa, to conquer Africa, to take over Africa. I just recently heard that the Chinese people have started growing cocoa in their country. Well, yes, cocoa is not just for Africans, but you know, it looks like they've come to us to take something that somehow originally belonged to us. Some people would debate with me about that and say, well, cocoa is not meant for just Ghanaians or not just meant for Africans and all that. With all this that I'm saying, all I'm trying to say is, how do we shift the mindset again of we Africans and then the people in the Black diaspora to benefit from our own things that we have, like the cocoa and the gold, than we giving it away? To me, it looks like we're giving them away for free. We're not taking the right amount, okay? Do you think it's going to be in the form of branding to meet a certain standardization? Or what do you think about this then?
Okay, V. I would like to backtrack just slightly first and touch upon the Chinese issue just a little bit.
Okay.
Just a little bit. I understand the concerns that a lot of people have about the fact that there is a foreign power making incursions into Africa today. I mean, it's a legitimate concern, which we should be concerned about.
Yes.
But this is nothing new. This has happened for centuries. I mean, right from pre-colonial times, the Europeans who came to Africa were not just going on a joyride. They were not going on vacation. They had an agenda that took them maybe 200, 300, 400 years to implement effectively, but they did. Yes. The fact that the Americans and the Europeans and the Chinese and everybody wants a little bit of Africa is a known story. It's old news. We know it. I mean, it's fine, like I said, for us to be aware, but that is neither the source nor the end of our problems. That's my issue. Yes, we know China wants a piece of us. If they had all of us, they would take all of us. But do we just hand it over on a silver platter? No. America wants it too. Europe has always wanted it, and at the point they had most of it. So that is nothing new, and that's not enough for us to, constantly make our hue and cry. I hear people talking about it day and night. That's not the end of it. We have deeper issues that we need to deal with. And for me, I believe that one of the things that Africa gets wrong a lot is we are in a boat, okay? In the middle of the ocean. We realize that the boat has holes in it and is floundering. It's taking on water, all right? Now we are arguing about whether we should bail out the water with tin cups or with buckets. Plug the bloody holes. Go to the basics. The basics that we need to deal with, those are our problems. The Chinese coming to pollute our rivers because of galamsey activities over here is a problem, yes, but it's not the basics. Those are not the basics. No foreigner can come to your country, strip it of natural resources to the detriment of your people and pollute your environment as well without the connivance of locals. without the connivance of political strongwigs. I mean, we have participation in there. The reason why a local will allow a foreigner to not only come and, take our natural resources for free, but end up poisoning our natural, environment as well, is because the mindset of the person is messed up at the fundamental level. No, there is no conscience that says that, listen, if at the end of the day I strip Ghana of all our hardwood, not only will we have an environmental crisis on our hands, but the future generations will be at risk. There is not, that mentality is just not there. It's a question, all that is being thought about is, I need to eat today. I need to be rich. I need for everyone to see that I am doing okay. Forget about what happens in the next 40 years. I can't be bothered. That is the mindset problem that I'm referring to. Same thing. When Ghana is going on, everyone is happy. Everyone is happy because there are people along the chain at so many levels who are getting paid. The reason why they are happy, the reason why they don't smite themselves on their chest in shame is because the mindset is that, listen, I'm living for today. 20 years, 30 years from now, I won't be around. Who cares what happens? Okay, so they're using mercury on the natural environment, which is poisoning the entire place, which people will suffer from for the next 50 to 100 years.
I'll be dead and gone.
As long as I get my money, I jump onto a plane, I can go to Dubai, I can go to the Maldives, I can go to London and America. I'll go and show everybody to see that I'm living a good life. Who cares? That is the mindset problem we're dealing with. So I'm not happy at the moment with us shifting too much blame to the Chinese, to the West. Yes, we know they are part of the problem. Yes, we know that they encourage such people with the wrong mindset because they are the ones who allow them to come and do what it is that they need to do. But my problem is that there is a fundamental problem at stake, and that is us, how we think, what we think of ourselves and of our people and of our future. That mindset problem. And maybe here I should introduce, you are asking what we can do in order to shift this whole mindset problem into the direction that will give us the kind of future that we want. I'm a basics person. A long time ago when I was growing up, I learned that if you can master the basics of anything, you've literally nailed it.
Yes.
So I always believe in going back down to the very nitty-gritty, the basics, the fundamentals. That's why people have heard me say time and time again that I tire easily of pseudo intellectual jargon and talk. In my experience in corporate Ghana, I saw a whole lot of it, where you have people spewing all kinds of, high-level conversation in order for people to consider them smart. But in reality, when you get down to it, you realize they don't know a bloody thing about what they're talking about. We see it everywhere. I heard a United Nations representative from Africa once complain bitterly about this on TED. What he's talking about, due to things like nepotism and cronyism and what have you, you have Africans who end up representing the continent internationally, not being, the people who are merited. There is no meritocracy. They are there by virtue of appointment. Some of them get there through cronyism and nepotism. So when they meet their counterparts from other countries who were given the opportunity based on merit, they realize that they're not at the same level. And then Africans do what we do best. We fake it. We try to, sound important. You hear people spewing all kinds of intellectual talk and big words and verbals. And listen, you can see through those people so easily. Just take a step back and you look at them and you know they're spewing garbage. All they're trying to do is look important. That's the reason why when I put my name down, I need to put a variety of letters after it for you to know who I am. LLP, CYT, DOG, rubbish. Because I need you to understand that, I am a doctor, professor, emeritus, whatever, so that you take my words serious. Listen to what I say. If I am speaking sense, judge me on that. Let's get back down to the basics and stop this whole show trying to prove to everyone that we know what it is that we are saying and having nothing to show for it. If Africa is going to work, we need to go back to the basics. What are the basics for mindset value system? What is important to us? Basic, that is it. What is important to us as an African people? We don't have to wait until a black man is put on the ground and suffocated to death before we get up and begin marching. Hey, no. That is called remote control. That means you're not thinking for yourself.
Yes.
You don't wait until a media that is not controlled by you puts out messages there that stir you up, and then you begin to agitate. That is remote control. That means you don't have a value system. You don't wait that long. The East doesn't wait that long. The West do not wait that long. They take their lives into their hands. They decide. They're like, this is what is important to us. This is what we need. This is what we stand for. This is what we represent. That is the reason why you will find, excuse me, Kathy, you know I like to poke at you a little bit. You will find white people gathering in the snow, lobbying, yeah? And agitating and what do you call it? Demonstrating against how some people are burning fossil fuels. When will you ever find Africans doing that? Ever? No, because it's not our value system. Oh, we don't care. So if they are cutting all the timber in Ghana, who cares? Doesn't really care. It's not our value system. Yet we forget that it is because of those actions that were done 25 years ago. That's the reason why we're in this state today. And because of those actions that are being done today, 25 years from now, the next generation are going to be in a worse situation than we are in today. We don't think that. The mindset has to be retuned. It has to be reset. What is important to us people? Let me ask you this question. You're doing a beautiful piece of work. A couple of days ago, we had you on the Afropolitan Voices platform with some incredible people. People like Mr. Robinson, former Ghana's #1 actor. I have people like Nana Keowari, who's presently sojourning in the States on assignment.
I'm not sure if Ricky can hear you.
Creatives, intellectuals, brilliant people. And the one thing that we all agreed on is that people like you who are doing what it is that you do need support. You must be supported. These are the conversations that we should be having. People like you are being supported. No disrespect, but the current trending story in Ghana has to do with Ipiapim Polo being put in jail. My heart goes out to her. She made a mistake. That's what I want to believe, that she thought she was being creative. She was trying to do something special. Maybe she made some poor choices, and as a result of that, she's being punished. My heart goes out to her that she's going to have to go through that. Is this a national agenda? Is this a national agenda? How will this impact the future of Ghana? When I was in Kumasi, I remember I stopped listening to radio because between the hours of 9 and about 12 noon, every day there would be discussions on football. Not the local league, no. I didn't hear anything about Kotoko and any of the local teams. It was always about the British Premier League. Mm-hmm. A league that does not even know we exist. When they go through their data, whatever insights,
all right. I'm not too sure. You're frozen a bit.
Discussing why one coach is better than the other, why a player should be bought for hours on end. My ears could not get enough of it. I stopped listening to radio. They have nothing to say. Mm-hmm. Agenda. What are we looking forward to, my dear? What is important to us? That is the only way that people will take us seriously. My very good friend, I'm sure you know him, Mr. George Alsafu Mason. He always used to say that Sawan Kasawa, Ubian, Sawan Kasamia, Ubian Kasawo. Translated means if you do not identify yourself as me, no one will ever identify you as you. Mm-hmm. Africa needs to be able to understand what is important to us. and make the whole world understand that this is important to us before the world will then take us seriously and say, oh, okay, this is what Africans do care about, and give us the respect which is due us. So just to cut it short, the direct answer to that would be, we need to start from the basics, my dear. To get the mindset right, you have to go to the beginning. The beginning is setting your value system, agreeing on what is important to us. That's just the first step. Move from values, through value system, through belief system, before you form the whole mindset, attitudinal, action, habits, and so on processes. There's a whole lot of process, but it's possible.
Oh, thank you so much for Ricky. I noticed, Kathy, you wanted to add something to it, or?
Yes, actually, lost. I can't see much. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello? All right. Now, well, way back in the conversation, I think the interesting part is also that if you put people from Ghana or from any African country to Europe or to the US, and suddenly they're in a different environment, so they work brilliantly. They can gather a lot of accomplishments. They get their degrees. They function very well. They are supportive to each other, and I think it's also one of the signs that environment does support certain mindsets. Or if you take a person from one environment and put it in another one, they will adapt to the values and to the mindset, which is very strong and present there. So I think it's also the responsibility and also the chance of the diaspora, whether all those people have this experience of different mindsets, different value settings, and they're used to it. So they have incorporated it into their being. So when they come back to African countries, to Ghana, I think it's also up to them then to be, everybody's coming back. I was like, yeah, it's my country. And then after some weeks, they get frustrated. I mean, I've talked to so many people, and afterwards, like, it's so frustrating here. And all my people, they're so, backstabbing and just thieves. It's like, these are your people, okay? So, but on the other hand, they start to have the same habits again. And so I think it's really, it's a little bit the responsibility also of the diaspora, who has this experience of a different society.
Yes.
And so they should take the best out of what they have experienced and bring it back and stick to the new values, because I think it's a kind of a catalyst. If people in Ghana can see, okay, this is how it is when you can trust someone, and if you can, they are responsible, and if they are reliable, so the change can come way quicker. So I think it's a taking and giving for those who are living there and for them who wants to come back one day.
Yeah, I believe that as well. And I am thinking of the fact that maybe it has to be a form of collaboration sort of thing between the Black people in the diaspora, or the Black diaspora, and then Africans. Sorry, I'm not too sure. It looks like the feed is actually coming from my end. Let's try this. Bring it down a bit and see. Is it okay now? Are we still getting a bit of feed? Okay. So with what I have been thinking about and then wondering about, I personally think that the mindset should start with us as individuals. In my own view, you might dispute it. As individuals, in the sense that, let's say if there is one person who's got that right mindset in one household, Okay, let's say there are about 100,000 people or 100,000 homes, and if each home there is one person with the right mindset, just look at how much we can influence the whole of Africa. I know it's going to be hard, but then individuals influence the people in their home. They start influencing their families, and then they go out, they start influencing the people in the church, because Africa, we know we are all about church. Then they influence people in their community, in their workplaces, and all that. And I personally think that is how the mindset is going to start working for all of us. I am not too sure how this is going to be done. But let's say if it is going to start with Ghanaians, or yes, Ghana, people back in Africa, as in Ghanaians in Africa, and then the Black diaspora community. Just look at it this way. Ghana is known as the gateway to Africa. That is why I am trying to use Ghana to be the first point of contact for this mindset shift to begin. Do you think we can do it? If Ghanaians are going to do this, do you think we can do it? Because if you look at it as well, Ghana is one of the oldest, I think it is actually Ghana, which is the oldest country that has, it's from the post-colonial time when we receive our independence. I think Ghana was the first country to receive the independence, which is a very, very long time ago. So making us somehow the gateway. And if we as Ghanaians start this, how are we going to do this? I know this, my question has gone round and round and round, but I am sure Kathy did understand me, or you as Ricky, you did understand me. Kathy, are you going to respond to this as well? I know you're not a Ghanaian, but then you've been watching from afar. Sometimes it's good if people are watching from afar, and then they can see things, and then in their own view, they can share with the world, isn't it? So what do you think? Do you think Ghanaians can do this? We can do the mindset shift at all?
Yes, totally, I think so. Otherwise I wouldn't be here, I think. No, but the very important step now is to get the basics right, as Ricky said. So the discussion and the ideas about what are our values, what is it that we actually want to implement within our society, what is it that we want to bring into the education system. So I think the discussion and the groups who are really thinking about it and then start living according to the values, they have to be built now. And I mean, this is what the Afropolitan Voice is also about, that people can come together, start to talk about those topics, come up with a new values which are accepted. I mean, it's not just thinking about anything which sounds nice. It has to fit into the society, into the culture.
Yeah.
And so it has to come from the people who are living there and who see what fits and what is maybe not appropriate for this environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that, the way forward is to start with those seed groups who start the movement, yes.
All right, Ricky, I'm going to come to you in a minute. Let me just read a few comments from our viewers tonight. So we've got Jomez, who is saying, watching with you all. Thank you for joining us, Jomez. Then we've got Akol, who is saying, good evening. Good evening to you, Akol. And he says, nice one, boss. Okay, and Ajwa is saying, Obviously, we said something that made her say, Then Echo also says, nice one, boss. And we've got Echo again saying NPP and NDC are poor. Yes, it's because as we are looking at Ghana, Ghana is always talking about NPP and NDC and not even talking about how to go forward in life, how to move Ghana forward. Then we've got Gomoa saying good. Then Benis Kuma is also saying true. So we've actually got people listening to us, and yes, we being here, we are also impacting some knowledge. And then helping to get the mindset developed from there. Well, Ricky, before I come to you, I've got this video I would like to play. Maybe you might have your own view about that. So I'm just going to add this video to the stream. And okay, I know, Ricky, this is from you. What is happening here? Let's see.
Yeah. Ah. Good guy, come on. Hey. What is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me now.
Right, Ricky. Yes, I can hear you now. Did you see that video?
Yep. It's a pretty interesting video that I received sometime today. From someone's feed, of course, a Nigerian friend's feed. And it initially, I actually thought perhaps it was a movie or something. Apparently, it was real life coverage of some young men who apparently were performing some ritual. I don't know, purported to make them powerful or rich or what have you. And for me, it was disturbing because this highlights how critical the mindset situation has become. When people, especially the youth, are frustrated and believe that there are no other channels for them to be able to achieve the kind of life that they want to achieve, they get desperate. When they get desperate and they feel they have no one to listen to them, they begin to find alternatives. Not too long ago, people were trying all kinds of very dangerous trips across the Sahara in order to go to Europe. And even that, I mean, would end tragically for so many young people. And funny, even with all the tragedy and the danger, it was still a very expensive trip to embark on. So people are still looking for alternatives. And now, as with the recent occurrences that happened in Ghana, you have younger people, I mean, people who are in their pre-teens, who are now trying to find some kind of rituals that would enable them to come out of poverty. Now, I'm not saying poverty is not real. Poverty is real. But when the mindset of the people itself is challenged, when you add to that fire the petrol of something like poverty, then you have a total conflagration, an explosive situation waiting to happen because people are trying desperately to get out of the situation that they are in, and their mindset does not hold them back from doing certain things. So now they will go the extreme and anything could happen. I was asking some friends today, those of us who think we are too stressed, we have better things to be doing. We can't involve ourselves in conversations like this because we're too busy. I mean, life is happening. There are bills to be paid, more important things to pay attention to. Okay, don't worry. When you have a young generation who are desperate and who are looking for ways out and whose mindset have been corrupted to the point where they believe wealth by any means necessary is possible, you're setting up the situation where one day these people will come and put a gun to your head because someone has told them that that is the way that they are going to come out of poverty. What are you going to say then? You're busy. You're going to wait until things go down that road, until things are completely falling apart? The reason why I think these conversations are important is because conversation feeds the subconscious. The subconscious then, based upon what it hears all the time, begins to decide what is important to it. That is how value systems are formed. That is the reason why back in the day, through the oral system of history, the elders used to talk to the younger ones and, as they say, transfer wisdom to them by conversation, because then the younger ones grow up understanding that these things are important, and then they live their lives according to them because their mindset is along those paths. That's why these conversations are critical. In modern times, we have seen entire generations being shaped by technologies such as MTV from the 80s. More recently, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, what have you. They have literally transformed the way certain generations think, behave, and everything in between, because it is possible. That is what Africa should be doing. That is what we should be doing right now. There are the tools available that help us to change how people think, that help us to focus on what is important. That should be telling you that, listen, do not go and sell your soul, sell your life, throw it away simply because you're trying to make a buck. What for? Just so that you can buy the latest ride, and let everyone know that you're cool. You come out of poverty, you're not poor anymore. Yeah, I'm chilling, nigga. That kind of nonsense. It's a mindset thing. Hunger is real, but the way to get out of poverty is not to put in the minds of children that you have to go kill another child, bury the child alive, and then you come out of poverty. That is a mindset thing. There's this lady, I've forgotten what radio she's on. I listened to her just for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I was completely blown away. She reminded me of you a lot, V. I think she's called Bim Lady.
Okay.
Bim Lady or something. What radio is she on again? OK FM, yeah, in Ghana. And one morning, this lady was on fire. She was on fire talking about the fact that it is said that when you want to tell how a nation is, look at their media.
Yes.
Look at their traditional media, look at their social media. What are the issues that keep popping up all the time? They define the soul of that nation, of that community, of that country. So go to our social media, go to our traditional media, look at our movies, our journalists, our movie creators, our content creators. What are they focusing on? It's a clear example of where the mindset of the people themselves are. Today we are hearing about kids attempting to kill another kid and bury the kid in order to make money. Where do you think they learned those things from? Look at Ghanaian TV. Thank you. That's where it starts. So they know, because that's where they've been raised, they believe it is possible. If someone, whoever traditionalist, fetish, whatever, comes around and says, if you do this, you get rich, they believe it because we have fed them that. Those of us living in this country who have never been to the United States of America, for instance, why do we believe that the lifestyles of all these celebrities are cool? We've never been there. I've never met Jay-Z. Why do you believe that lifestyles are cool?
Media.
Because we were watching MTV.
Yes.
We were watching Hollywood movies. So we bought what they told us. Content is powerful. Narratives are powerful.
Yes.
Those are the tools that are being used to change the world. And those are the same tools that we need to learn to wake up and use. Unfortunately, we are using them, but we are using them in the wrong way. Guess what? Just last year and a couple of years before that, we learned. Now, when it is time for elections, there are people in this country, in political parties and what have you, who know that you can use social media to influence people. So they pay enough money to companies who know how to do that, and then they manipulate people via social media, such as Cambridge Analytica. It's out there, everybody knows. Or let's say so everyone is supposed to know, but as to whether enough people know is another issue altogether.
Yeah.
We don't care. They can use this thing to change the entire nation's perspective, so they either vote one way or the other. So it's not that they don't know, they know, but they're not using it the right way. And the masses are too busy running the rat race and discussing items like British Premier League and the Captain Polo to focus on the matters which will actually give us the kind of future we want. The tools are there, it can be done. Other places are doing it. In fact, when some leading countries want to influence other countries, like you're saying China wants to influence the rest of Asia, they use content. Yes. Currently, you might be familiar with K-pop, are you not?
Yes.
I don't know if you know K-pop, Korean.
I have seen it,
Korean
yes.
Soap operas and their music. It's taking the whole world by storm. I have a personal assistant who is crazy about K-pop. I didn't even know what K-pop was. I was K-pop. Like it's all about, you know, series and music and everything, and it is taking over the world. People are falling in love with Korean culture. They're falling in love with even Korean education systems. They've never been
learning the languages as well.
This is
Learning
what
the
we need to do.
language. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. Well. That is very, very good discussion you have just taken us through, Ricky. I really, really appreciate that. Kathy, this question is definitely coming your way. I know you've been in so many countries in Africa, and you possibly might have bought a lot of things and items to bring back home to Germany to give to people as presents from around the world and all that. So I am going to talk about packaging and rebranding, you know, just as we as Africans in the Black diaspora and then the whole of Africa. You have seen the way we have packaged our items out there selling in Africa and then up abroad and all that. Do you think we could also change the narrative of Africa and the mindset of the people through the way we brand our items? Okay. Do you think we could do something much better? And then do you think the price could be okay? That will still lead to the changing of the mindset of the people at all?
That's a very interesting question, because actually that's an issue which is, giving me a lot of thoughts recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I brought quite some gifts back home and gave them to my friends. One big issue is always the quality.
Okay.
I mean, they're nice things, but it's always, you know, that the last something is missing.
Mm.
So I gave a very nice, you know, the beads. I gave it to a friend. She was wearing it. She loved it.
Mm-hmm.
She was wearing it 2 times and then it broke.
Oh,
so it was
dear.
like, oh, sorry. Well, you know, quality. And yes, I think there are a lot of products which would be interesting for the international market, but I think you have to master the art of the last 10 or 20%. So it's not just it's okay, it's excellent. It's a really great product. It's not just good, it's great. And I think because now the international market is so overwhelmed with products,
Mm-hmm.
and so if you want to have, if you want to be competitive worldwide, you have to raise your standards. And this is the point where I think Africa is not there yet. I think, or it's quite interesting. I think in Kenya or even the east of Africa, they are a step ahead. So now they're pimping their products. They're targeting more the European markets, and also they raise the quality. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the quality is on point, you can raise the price as well and play on the global market. Yes.
Okay, thanks for that. Yeah, I'm not too sure what we can do about that, but obviously we need to learn from somewhere, pick it from somewhere, and then it will definitely lead to where we want to go to. So I've been doing a little bit of research again, and then I noticed there are lots of new developments going on in Africa, as in manufacturing development, as in there are people in Africa producing shoes. Last time I was watching, was it CNN Africa or something, where they introduced the Soul Rebels, which are like trainers. No, it wasn't trainers, but then there's somewhere in Kenya where they are producing trainers and selling it in the European market and all that. So trying to portray Africa to the world so that people will be buying from Africa, and then trying to change the narrative and the story of Africa. And I know there are so many other people doing that around the world and all that. So Ricky, I am coming to you with this question. Cantata is in Ghana. I don't know, I think he's Apostle cantata or something of that sort, whereby he's really doing well. I know he's been making cars, and I heard he's made aeroplane. He's done so many things in Ghana. Even if these cars that he is producing are being the parts of the cars are being probably sent or brought in from somewhere else in the world. I'll add you on from somewhere else. I've added you from somewhere else, Ricky. The other one went off. So even though he is doing so well, I'm not too sure if Ghana is really appreciating what he is doing and giving him all the boost and all that he needs. There is a feed. Right, I will take one off, Ricky, and bring the other one on. Sorry about this, people. I know there's a bit of network issues here and there.
Yes. So whichever one you think is reliable, leave on, and we'll put the others off.
All right, so I have put this one back on. So as I was saying, with cantata coming into the scene, I am talking about branding for now, because obviously if we are going for the value system and then trying to collaborate with other people, maybe collaborating with the people, that is the Black diaspora, to come up with a good concept, because obviously, let's take me as an example. I have traveled out of Ghana. I have come to learn new things, not everything. The little bit I have learned, I believe can help my country as a whole. Let's say I come back and then I team up with you or someone else and all that. Sometimes, just as Kathy said earlier on, there is backbiting, and you yourself, Ricky, have said before that it's quite hard for people to understand people who have traveled away and then come back to want to collaborate with them. You know, they try to hype the prices and all that and then they sort of put them off from wanting to help in any way. How can we change that mindset of our people so that we who have traveled will come and then go into that sort of collaboration, help to change the mindset? Because obviously we have come to learn something new, completely new from out there, and we are bringing to Africa. Okay, so it's like we're coming to help rebrand Africa and then throw it back to the world, whereby they think yes, or believe that yes, now Africa is at the top. We have to go to them with higher amount of money, or else we are not going to get the cocoa, or else we are not going to get the gold, or else we are not going to get the cars they are producing and then exporting. Well, we want to be able to be producing cars and exporting around the whole world. Just like Cantata is doing, we want to be able to push his cars to the foreign countries and all that. Yes, maybe the foreign country has a different standard that we haven't gotten to, but we from here, how can we come and help our people? How can we change the mindset and then get us all bonding together and helping Africa?
Hey, that's a huge question. You know?
I know. Then you might have to just cut it bit by bit then.
Again, I will go back to the basics. You see, let me ask you this. Let me just throw a quick one back to you, both you and Kathy, for instance.
Yeah.
Before you can change the mindset of a people to influence anything, and by the way, mindset affects every part of our existence, everything. This whole issue of misunderstanding between Black locals and our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, you can trace it down to mindset.
Yes. They say we are too known.
Being expatriates and locals is a mindset issue. If mindset adjustments take place, these things can be easily resolved.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to ask you, V, for instance, name one important value, all right, that you have learned whilst you're in the UK that makes living in the UK, work. Just one important value. I mean, it could be anything. It could be like respect. It could be like mutual respect. It could be like trustworthiness. It could be like honesty. It could be like when the person says something, they mean it. Just give me one.
Well, maybe I'll use that last one then. When the person says something, they mean that. Sometimes they say, I'm coming for you, and true, they are coming for you no matter what.
So that one, it would be what? The value of what? Authenticity. Or what?
Definitely authenticity.
Okay. All right. Now that's what I'm talking about. When a people have these things, it gives a certain degree of, how do I say, comfort, because you know that you can expect this of people.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Kathy for over 10 years now. She might be one of the few, I know very few Germans, but one of the few Germans that I have come to know very well. Okay. And one of the things I've learned about Germans through her and a few other friends, very few other friends, is hard work. There's a value for them.
Mm-hmm.
It is important to them. Work hard, work honestly, concentrate on your work.
Yeah, that's good.
A German value is what they do, to the point where sometimes she comes to Ghana for holiday and she's like, I need to do something. I'm like, no, you don't need to do anything. You need to have a holiday. You came here for holiday. She says, no, but there's nothing to do. I need to do. Give me some work. Give me. That's how you tell that people have a value in something. When it is that important.
It looks like Kathy wants to add something to what you're saying.
Yeah, she just wants to tell me to keep quiet and not give her away. But
I'm just a little bit running out of time. The show is over, something,
Yes.
She doesn't like me talking about her and her.
Yes, but then she's also giving us the reminder about the time as well. That is very true.
Yep. I mean, it's a beautiful habit. It's a beautiful value to have. If, for instance, our brothers and sisters from the diaspora who are coming in, who want to bring all the good stuff they've learned abroad, including people like you who live in the UK and learn a thing or two, if they and you had the value of mutual respect,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things would not go wrong. But you see, I met a lot of diasporans. I've met a lot of being twos, including people who spend 3 hours at Heathrow and come back with a slang, suddenly behaving as if they are better than anybody else. That is the stupidity. I mean, you should know that once the African is proud by default.
Yeah.
When you come in and you begin to talk down to the average person and make them feel that they know nothing simply because you've, inhaled some air at Gatwick Airport, they're not going to take you seriously. And that happens a lot. In the past, we used to have situations where our brothers and sisters from the diaspora, they come with the attitude of, yeah, we're the enlightened ones. We are back. We're coming to open your African eyes. That will not fly. That will not fly, because it's not just a case of ego per se.
So we should come back downhearted. Is that what you're trying to say? So that we reason with our people.
On the flip side as well, I lost you guys for a second. I don't know if you're back.
Yes, we are.
Okay. On the flip side, if the local Africans who are here also have the values of, honesty and
Ricky, you are gone again. We are going to begin to wrap up. So
when we have our brothers and sisters coming in, are you still there?
Yes, we're still here.
Okay. If we have our brothers and sisters coming in with these good intentions and we deal with them honestly, you understand? We're not thinking of them as, oh, those Akata people are coming. They're coming with some money. We're going to squeeze them for every little drop of water in them before they're gone. You understand? When that... I have said it before, that when sometimes people come to Africa with all kinds of good intentions, and unfortunately for them, they meet the kind of people who have set their mind as we are going to exploit these people because they're new, they're fresh. Sometimes that clash happens, and then you have the people who just came in begin to assume that, oh, that's how everyone is. That's not the case. It's just a case of a couple of bad nuts being, those on the forefront and being those they encounter first. I hope you understand what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, we need to get the value right. We need to get the values right. If as a people, if I understand, when I met Kathy 10 years ago, it was mutual respect from day one. Mutual respect. We say what we mean. We talk about things, in all honesty, plain. That is how the friendship was formed. That's how the trust was formed. That is what I expect of anybody. But even me, as an African who's been living in Africa all this time, I still find people that I can't work with in this country. I have artisans who I was working with all through the day today, who if I don't supervise will not do the job that I am paying them to do the way I need them to do it because I'm not there. They will cut corners because of the mindset. It is not, to them, it's not important for them to be trustworthy. If they can cut, if they can nick, if they can get away with something, that's the mindset that's been built. And that's what we need to attack. Those are the things we should be making movies about. Those are the things journalists should be writing about, pastors should be preaching about. That's what they should be talking about on the radio. Until it sinks in, until we understand, until we can let that permeate our society like a virus, to the point where if, let's say, for instance, a husband, a wife, and a child are sitting at the table, and the husband reaches out and takes a piece of bread without the wife's permission, the kid should slap the hand of the daddy and say, Dad, have permission first. That's the kind of society we need to be able to build. One built right from the grassroots on sincerity, authenticity, saying what you're supposed to say, being open with each other. It might take us a while, but if we focus on it, we can get there. That's what I sincerely believe.
Oh, thank you, Ricky. You have dived so deep into it. Our time is up, actually. So I am going to ask Kathy to wrap up. And then we might come back to you, Ricky, to give us your final words as well. So, Kathy, nice having you on the show. What is your final words for us? I know this is a very, very broad topic and we cannot discuss the whole thing tonight. So what are your final thoughts and your final words to everyone, please?
Yeah, I think with like any goal that someone has, I think it's important to start with the belief it is possible. And even if it looks like, as you said, like a huge topic and you can dive deep in different directions, but I'm very, very convinced it is possible. It was done before in other countries, so it can be done in Ghana as well.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. How about you, Ricky? What's your final words?
I completely agree with to start this, you need to believe that it's possible. And I think we need to take our destiny a bit more into our own hands. We like to be passive. It's sad that we only get passionate about stuff after things have gone wrong.
Yes.
We don't like to take things on the active. When things are falling apart and we get agitated, we find the energy. But before then, we could bring that same energy to fixing things and getting things right from the scratch. I believe that, so much more could be done. Conversations like this need to be had more often, and we need to understand that they're important. I'm glad that so many more people came onto the show today, but that is not enough.
Yes.
I understand for the life of me why on a platform like Clubhouse, for instance, you go to Clubhouse and you check the various conversations that are happening, and the African conversations make you wonder. You're like, all these powerful tools, and these are all you guys are using them for? That's all? And you go and you see the other clubs full of Westerners and Asians, and the topics they are talking about make you, like, nod your head, make you think. And then Africans are just, hey, life is too stressful, can't come and stress me anymore. Hey, Lord have mercy. We need to wake up. We need to wake up. These tools that we have, 20, 25 years ago, were non-existent. Today we have the tools to change the world, and Africans are not using them.
Yes.
We're playing foot with them. We have opportunities which our fathers did not have. I feel the pain of people like Nkrumah and the other forefathers of the African struggle, because back then they didn't have access to what we have today, but they did so much. And imagine, in a time when they could not even communicate the way we communicate today, they struggled to put their ideas out there to get the support behind them, be able to do what they did. And we are still enjoying the fruits of their labor half a century and more afterwards. Now we have all these tools. I can basically speak to the whole world from the comfort of my studio, if necessary. But what
thank you, Ricky. Thank you so much. I know there's a lot to be done. I will read the final comments from here. So we've got our sister Maggie, who joined us tonight, and she says, hello, everyone. Then she's also saying, Anna's hard work is truly valuable quality. Thank you. Oh, thank you all so much. Thank you, Kathy, for joining us tonight. Thank you, Ricky. I really, really enjoyed our time on here today. I would finally leave us with this little thing from Professor P.L.O. Lumumba, just a little recording. I promise you it's not a long one. I think we should listen to this letter he wanted to write to our forefathers. Let's see. I will try.
Somebody was telling me that African economies are growing, and I told them, yes, they are growing. But no matter how fast a goat grows, it can only be a fat goat, it can't be a cow. So what we must do is that we must combine all these little goats into a big elephant, and we'll begin to make sense. Kwame Nkrumah, may he rest in peace. How relevant you are 56 years ago today. When you spoke on that day in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and reminded us that Africa had to unite. If today I were to write as Nkosana Dlamini Zuma wrote in the year 2013, if today I were to write a letter to our founding fathers who died several years ago, this is how the letter would read. I would not name all of them, but I would name the following. I would say, Dear Kwame Nkrumah, Dear Kambarage Nyerere, Dear Patrice Emery Lumumba, Dear Modibo Keita, Dear Ahmed Sékou Touré, Dear Thomas Sankara, Dear Nelson Mandela, we are gathered here today in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on this 25th day of May in 2019. And we are pretending to be discussing a new subject, but we are not. In fact, my dear fathers, we are discussing something that you discussed 56 years ago. And we are now recognizing that you warned us that if we did not unite, we will be conquered again. I am sadly reporting to you that we are being conquered again. We are being conquered again in the manner that you feared, and I'm now telling you that this time round our contest is a little more subtle. I am telling you, Osagyefo, that now, although in 1961 you had created the University of Ghana at Legon, and you had also created the University of Science and Technology In many African universities, we are now accommodating Confucius Institutes. Therefore, we do not know what they are going to teach there in 100 years' time. But for the moment, they tell us is aid and that they like us. But therefore, I agree with you, there is no free lunch. We are also sitting here today in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, the home of your brother, Julius Kambarage Nyerere. And we also are reminding ourselves that Nyerere came up with a philosophy called Ujamaa, which was self-reliance. We can now tell you that in substance, Mwalimu was right. But unfortunately, we are still importing things from Europe. We now have mobile phones, which you did not have when you were alive. But unfortunately, Mwalimu, those mobile phones, none of them is made in Africa. Last week, we saw an attempt by somebody to claim that one was made in Rwanda, but I suspect it was only assembled in Rwanda. Mwalimu, we are trying. I can now also confirm to you that we have many political parties, just as you feared us. In Congo, there are 233, but Congo is not at peace. In Tanzania, they don't have very many, but I can assure you CCM is still doing very well. But Tanzania is the exception rather than the rule. After every election, Mwalimu, we fight. In Kenya, we did.
Well. I think he can go on and on and on. I will just take him off. And yes, it was diving a little bit into the political side of things. But in the end, all he wanted to say was Africa must unite. Africa must get our mindset in the same direction, and that will start with us as individuals. So let us all try and do this for ourselves, our families, and then the whole of Africa, and then that of the Black diaspora. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you again, Kathy. Thank you, Ricky. And thank you to all our viewers on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you. Have a good evening and bye. Thanks, Kathy.
Pleasure, B. See you next time.
All right. Don't go yet, Ricky. I've got you there. Thank you.